Excel. Happy hump day, everybody. Hope everyone is enjoying this spring-like weather in some locations. It's a little bit warm here in the 10, East Tennessee. I call East Tennessee high 10. I'm located in Knoxville, bringing you commentary pertaining to Sheriff Nanos. This is the latest developments coming from Arizona. Christopher Michael Marx, the inmate suing Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, is currently in jail. He filed a lawsuit seeking $1.35 million, alleging that the sheriff's department violated COVID-19 safety protocols, putting his life in danger. Hi, No Perspective. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everyone is well. The Queen is feeling good today. Sitting here by the window with this wonderful view. And I said, I'm going to sit by the window and go live since I got this new chair that someone kindly gave me from the marketplace. Go ahead and check it out on my community page. It's an off-white chair with black arms, really nice hand-carved arms, really nice. It's a really nice chair. Queen's still looking for furniture. This has been a battle right now, but I decided I'm going to sit by the window and go live. Wanted to go out this evening, but I don't know if I really want to because my landlord said there's a storm coming, so I don't want to get caught in the rain and the storm. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Hello, Conky. Hello, Julia. Thank you all so much for joining me. So this is latest information coming out of Arizona, assumingly Arizona. It says Christopher is in jail, but I don't know if they're saying he's in Pima County, because what I've asked myself is, COVID happened back in 2020. So what jail is he in? Pima County or another jail in Arizona or another jail somewhere else? Is he sick? Does he have complications from COVID? Did he get COVID? Did he what? It doesn't sound like he got COVID. It sounds like he's just saying, hey, this man and this jailing system put my life at risk. Let's see what New York Post has to say. I wasn't going to read all this because it sounds like a bunch of foolishness, but some of you like to be, you know, you want everything word for word, even if it ain't the truth. So we're going to roll with it. Okay, so he's suing for over $1 million. He said that this jail did not adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Christopher Michael Marx. Okay, an inmate at Pima County Jail. See, sometimes each article has something different. The last article didn't say he was at Pima County. It just says an inmate. So this is New York Post. It says an inmate at Pima County Jail filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Arizona on March 5th, while Nanos and his deputies have been criticized over the lack of any real leads in the months-long investigation pertaining to, the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Marx claimed in the filing that his life was endangered after a sheriff deputy at Pima County Jail was working between a unit where an inmate with COVID-19 was in quarantine and his unit, according to court documents obtained by the Post. So, is this recent? I'm getting confused. Hold on. Because I guess when I think of COVID, I'm thinking of past tense, but this could be present tense. And that might be throwing some people off. That's why you have to make sure you read everything carefully. Alleging the top cop and his deputies put his life at risk by not adhering to COVID-19 protocols according to court documents. So he's saying his life is endangered after a sheriff deputy at Pima County Jail was working between a unit where an inmate with COVID-19 was in quarantine in his unit, according to court documents obtained by the Post. So somebody was in quarantine in his unit. This deputy was going back and forth working both units. Our unit was on lockdown because this deputy was working both units, says the information in the lawsuit. While working between the units, including serving dinner, the sheriff deputy allegedly did not wipe down his body to sanitize himself from the highly contagious virus, the filing continued. Neither Sheriff Nanos nor his deputies were effectively trying to contain the coronavirus from spreading, which represented a threat to Marx's safety, the documents allege. This put my life in jeopardy with their action constantly, Marx wrote. I could have died, quote unquote. The inmate who was found guilty of shoplifting in late 2024, according to Newsweek, claimed that Nanos and the department violated two of the Arizona State Constitution, known as Declaration of Rights, Article 2 of the Arizona State Constitution, known as the Declaration of Rights, through the threat to his safety and cruel and unusual punishment. Somebody's been reading. The inmate is suing for an apology from the sheriff and a whopping $1.3 million so he can donate to two apartment buildings used to house the formerly homeless. Marx's lawsuit is also seeking that Nanos and the department ensure they properly disinfect their bodies while working between quarantine units. So the rest is about Nancy. I don't know what the hell I just read. So Christopher, somebody's at the jail right now with COVID. You're worried about getting COVID? Are you worried about getting adequate care? Is that what we're talking about? You're worrying about contracting COVID. You're worrying about sustaining life with COVID while incarcerated. What did you steal, sir? 2024, why are you still in jail? It's 2026. So what did you steal? A house? An apartment building? I'm just asking. What did you steal? I think everybody's just trying to get money. Now, had you caught COVID, Christopher, and became deathly ill, was denied medical care, you didn't get sent to a hospital, your heart failed, you now have heart failure, kidney failure, I say you have a lawsuit. But you don't have COVID, you haven't been tested for COVID, you haven't received anything as far as complications from COVID, you ain't got no lawsuit. And the lawyer who took on this case, you gotta be ashamed of yourself for filing this nonsense. So now I guess the other inmates, they'll jump on the bandwagon and start hooping and coughing and hacking and saying they're sick and they don't feel good either. I don't feel good, Nanos. Yes, Mr. Nanos is catching hell. Now there's some interesting information about his resume. Mr. Nanos had a problem as a cop in El Paso, and it says you retired in 84, but you left in 82 in lieu of a termination. So to me, that's not a discrepancy. Now the next discrepancy is about when you became captain. They got those 2 years mixed up, 2007, 2009. I'm not really concerned about that clerical error. I'm more concerned about the error where you acted like you had been working for El Paso Sheriff's Department, Police Department up until 84. But in 82, you shimmied on out of there because you felt like they were getting ready to fire you for disciplinary action. So that means you got some issues, Mr. Nanos. Nano. Remember that, everybody? Morgan Mindy? Nano. Mr. Nanos don't like to follow instructions, it seems. He has a problem. So did you have a smart mouth? You didn't follow protocol? You didn't obey the law? What were you doing? Were you violating people's civil rights? Were you cursing people? Were you manhandling them? What were you doing, sir? So somebody go ahead and dig up the goods and bring them back to Queen. Bring them to me on IG. Big Sexy .71 for you little birds that like to Google and go through records. Bring me the goods. Bring me the goods. On Mr. Nanos. See, Sheriff, you should have known people were gonna start digging. That's just life. This is what people do. When you become the talk of the town, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter what it's about. People will start digging in your past. They want to know what size panties you wear, what size shoe you wear, last time you went to the bathroom, last time you went to the hospital, last time you went to the doctor, who's your baby mama, are you married, How many wives do you have? Do you have any dead wives? Do you have any wives that died under suspicious circumstances? Do you take care of your children? Do you pay child support? Did I clear that up? I think I did. They want the tea. And you got a lot of busybodies out there wanting the tea and still on the ground looking for some tea. Y'all worrying about cups with the letter G on them and all that old type of nonsense. Please stop it. Just stop it. Damn, give it a break. Let me clarify that. Cup, mug, let it go. This case is starting to get like most true crime cases because some of you, as I say, you don't know when to stay in your lane and sit down somewhere and stop meddling and stuff and trying to make things be something that we can't even prove as of yet. This case is getting ready, or shall I say, has gotten ridiculous. We got a whole human missing, and now we trying to tie punk rock bands, heavy metal to fetish clubs, to Luke, to the girlfriend, to Annie and Tommaso, the band members, Derek Colella, bad sheriff who has disciplinary problems, don't know how to talk in front of the media, don't know how to tell the truth about anything. Coffee mugs, coffee cups, styrofoam cups, backpacks, utility boxes messed up, gloves, and more gloves found. They ain't registered to nobody but somebody at a restaurant allegedly across the street, but yet I didn't see a restaurant across the street from Nancy's house. What the hell is everybody talking about? Because my head hurts. I'm trying to find some furniture. I ain't got time for all this crazy stuff. Mr. Nanos, can you help Queen get some furniture? Since you getting sued for $1.35 million, come take me shopping. I'm looking for a pretty sofa. I'm looking for a pretty sofa and maybe 2 pretty chairs. So if you can help me out, Mr. Nanos, I will gladly accept the invitation. He doesn't think the guard did enough to protect him from COVID. I guess a lawsuit is excessive. Julia, it's very excessive if you have not gotten COVID. It would help the lawsuit if you had gotten COVID and gotten like deathly ill, kind of like ICU ill. You went to ICU, you were in there for a while, you had organ failure. Hell yeah, you can sue all day. You didn't get adequate care. You were sick for a couple of weeks and almost died. And they finally sent you to the hospital. Yeah, lawsuit. This don't sound like a lawsuit. This sounds like somebody saying, well, everybody else suing. Don't you think it's funny? He asking for $1 million and the reward is at $1.2 million. No, excuse me. He's asking for 1.35 and the reward is 1.2. So maybe he's saying, hell, just give me the reward money. Y'all go find Nancy Guthrie on your own. Somebody else come bring 1.something million for Nancy Guthrie. Give me the Nancy Guthrie fund. Cause y'all almost killed me in here in this little box that I'm in. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. How's everybody doing? I just read a very interesting article on Facebook. You know I'm going to jump off this subject because this subject is nonsense pertaining to this COVID lawsuit. So we're going to veer off into some other uncharted territory. I was reading an article just a few minutes ago. I don't have the girls' names. We're going to call them girls because that's what they are. 3 Black females working in a nursing facility were pitting the elderly against the elderly to fight. Who raised you? How do you walk into a job and say to yourself, I'm going to get this elderly person here possibly with dementia, because that was mentioned, to fight another elderly person. A fight club is what these three heathens had decided to do. Instead of doing their damn job, they got the elderly people fighting one another. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? This is some bullshit. The New York Post is the source of that first information pertaining to the inmate suing Pima County Sheriff. In case somebody needs verification. Excuse my lighting. You all know my lighting gets real janky because I'm by the window and the sun's going in and out. And my lamp's kind of low, so I didn't turn it on. I thought the daylight might help. Let's go see what these fools talking about here. Ooh, that wind feels so good. Good old Tennessee. These are nursing home workers. Let me see if I can get a picture of all three of them. Here we go. Well, can't blow it up. All right, everybody. Oh, God. Come on, don't start. There go our three little beauties. Look at them. Aren't they cute? Three blind mice. See how they run. These have got to be the stupidest motherfuckers breathing. Don't get me crunk. Don't get me crunk. The incident at Danby House in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, involved three women accused of running a fight club among dementia patients. So excuse me if I said possibly. They were dementia patients. The women were charged with assaulting an individual with a disability and were fired after the management learned of the allegations. The incident included encouraging fights, filming them, and even physically assaulting a resident. Despite the charges, the women were spared jail time, with McKee receiving a suspended sentence and Jordan receiving a suspended sentence. Wow. The case highlights the serious issue of elder abuse and the need for strict policies and training in assisted living facilities to prevent such incidents. So we're talking about suspended sentences, McKee got a suspended sentence. Jordan got a suspended sentence. I don't know about the other one. Don't look like nothing happened. This is October 15, 2019. I thought this was something that happened. Maybe they're just now getting a sentence. Yeah, that was in 19. I apologize. I thought this was something recent. T. Conklin, what you say? Go, Queen. But you know, sometimes you can keep putting stuff off in court, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until you get a verdict. Yeah, I could have sworn I thought this had just happened. Well, either way, it's still news. Yeah, this happened in 2019. Marilyn McKee, Tanasha Tyson, and Tanisha Jordan facing charges of assaulting an individual with a disability in connection with an allegedly encouraging residents of the Danby House, Winston-Salem, to fight each other. I wonder why this came up on my feed. Because usually only newer stories come up on that news break. I'm wondering if they just got sentenced. That was in October of 19. What a mess. Hold on, let me see. McKee's 32, Tanisha Yvonne Tyson's 20, Tanisha Deshawn Jordan 26. So the 32-year-old, that's probably the big mama with the glasses. She knows better. Three little beauties. Now, what are you girls doing now for employment? Because I know you're not working around nobody's elderly. I wonder why that story came up on my feed for some reason. That's why I thought it was a newer story, so I apologize for that. Hey, but it's still an interesting conversation. Yeah, 2019. I don't know why it came up. 2026, I'm wondering if they just went to court, got a finalization in court. The three employees were arrested on charges of assaulting individuals with disabilities. Authorities began investigating after a tip regarding abuse at the facility, which had multiple concerns about patient care and safety. The three employees were subsequently fired, and Danby House implemented stricter staff vetting and additional training. Later legal proceedings included guilty pleas and probation sentences for two of the workers, while one staff member was cleared of a misdemeanor. So elder abuse in care facilities is a serious issue. Signs of potential neglect or abuse include unexplained injuries, agitation, sudden changes in behavior, and unaddressed health needs. Family members and concerned individuals should report suspicions to local adult protective services or regulatory authorities to ensure the safety and well-being of the elderly residents. This case underscores the importance of vigilant oversight, staff training, accountability, and elder care facilities to prevent abuse and protect vulnerable populations. What I'm trying to understand, I was trying to get a date. See, you said I would see if they have been arrested since. Well, that's what I'm trying to come up with something. Everything's coming up 19. Let me see. I have to turn my microphone on. Hold on, honey. When did the three women from North Carolina get their sentence for abusing the elderly? Everything still keeps coming up. 19. He said not together. Let me see. Yeah, I said, let's see. North Carolina. When did the three women from North Carolina get their sentence for fighting the elderly? So this was 19. They were scheduled to appear in court November 14, 2019. Okay, let me see. 22, that's 3 years later. This was March of 2022, so this is 4 years ago. They are being spared jail time despite being convicted of encouraging dementia patients to fight and then filming the results. So 19, 21, 22. So 3 years later, they got their sentences. On Monday, McKee was given a suspended sentence of 45 days in prison with 12 months of supervised probation. Meanwhile, Jordan was given a suspended sentence of 30 days in prison with 12 months of unsupervised probation. A third woman, Tanasha Yvonne Tyson, 23, had also been arrested with the pair at the time of the incident, but was later cleared of a misdemeanor. So Letitia McKee, she's the older one. I thought she might have been the younger one. So she's the older one. The one with the braids is the older one. Hold on. The one with the braids got the most time. She's the older one, 35. The girl with the glasses, she's 28. Or at that time, they're a little older now. What are they doing now? That's what I'd like to know. What are these heathens doing now? What do they do for a living now? Where are they working? DoorDash? Probably not, because you can't have extensive criminal records once they run your name by that second time. You can't have nothing with any type of assault violence. This is what's crazy to me with this new day of living, is everybody feeling like they have to film everything. I got to film it. I got to film it. You're already abusing elderly people. People who don't have a memory or somewhat of a memory. And you're encouraging them to fight one another, and you're filming it, and also physical abuse allegedly. What is your problem? See, these are young women who don't have any manners. And you see a lot of people like the comments under these articles and videos, how the people talk. This is how they act in real life, okay? They act like this in real life. And these young women to me are no different. What they were doing at that job with those older people, that's what they're doing in their life out in the street. Arguing and fighting with people, probably getting with their homegirls, trying to beat up other females and talk them into fighting other women, guys, instigating fights. They probably were doing it in high school. I'm also wondering why one of the young women, this one with the glasses, why was she exonerated? Was she just more of a standby type person, but wasn't filming? Just, hee-hee-heeing with them. But that's the whole point. You being a spectator, you're just as guilty because you know what they're doing is wrong. So you standing there laughing and heckling or whatever you're doing, you're just as guilty as the person who's putting her hands on one of the women men and pushing them. Hey, fight him, fight him, fight him. You're just as bad because you're standing there and you know this is wrong. You should not even be participating. So to me, standing and watching, and you're on the clock, on your job, you are participating. Julia says, shame, encouraging patients to fight, ignorant. Yes. And to me, it's no different if they were children, if they were high school students, if they were grade students, if they were toddlers. Why are you encouraging people to fight one another? It's not like somebody's jumping on somebody and you're telling the person, hey, fight them back, hit her back. You're not trying to join in so you don't get beat up. But we're talking about dementia patients. They're like children. Anybody who's ever been around a person with dementia, it's like dealing with a child. They have resorted back to a childlike state. And you're wrong to be doing anything nefarious with this elderly person. At some point, you have to know right from wrong. And they knew better. They knew what they were doing was wrong. And I don't even understand how you could just start instigating, trying to force one, to instigate with another one. Maybe one started out arguing with one and you just egged it on like, yeah, get her. And then that's where it went from there. I don't know. But it's wrong no matter what. Because these people don't know what they're doing. And you're part of the problem. So what do you think about this inmate suing Mr. Nanos? Good God. Very interesting information. I guess Mr. Nanos is probably thinking everybody's just talking bad about me, saying terrible things about me. As I was listening to some people on a podcast talk about him last night, he's probably tired of people picking at him and saying negative things about him. And let's be truthful, we're all human. Nobody wants people picking at them, saying negative things about them, even if there's some truth to it. And naturally, the flip side of the truth is that it's about perception. Somebody may not think this is nitpicking. Somebody else may say, you know, it is. But I think we can all agree that things were not handled properly with this case pertaining to Nancy Guthrie. There's just too many discrepancies, okay? Too many. And it's sad because this woman is still missing. She has family, and they have no idea where she is. And they have offered up a substantial amount of money, and still no one's coming forward to say, hey, I got the truth. I know the truth. Also, Savannah has been seen in New York City. She's gone back home, I believe, as of last week. Don't know if she's still there or not, but she went to the studio to talk to her co-workers, and they, hugged and cried. And I'm sure she misses them. That is her job. That's where she works. And she also is a wife. She's also a mother. So she needs to be near her children and her husband and her coworkers. And I'm sure she needs the love from all those people who she's familiar with. Although her mom is missing and that's her mother, you still want to be, surrounded with people that you know and you care about them and they care about you. This will be a terrible place for anybody to be in, because most people, they get bad news about their parents passing away. It's final. It's final. You go take care of the business with your mom, your dad, and then eventually you get back to your job and your life. But this is a different type of situation because this woman is missing and nobody knows where she is except for the person that took her or persons. So there's no conclusion for the Guthrie family. And what was said in one commentary last night that the brother went back to wherever he's from. One article or information I heard said he lived in Arizona, or in Tucson. So I guess he doesn't. So maybe he had to get back to his life and family. I'm not really sure. So I was curious, well, who's going to be monitoring the home? Annie and her husband? They're going to be going over there checking on the house. Some people may say, oh, you should be talking about the house, what they're going to do with it. But see, people aren't thinking about, as I said, the reality. Nancy has not died in a car accident or in her sleep or died from cancer, and it's a finale. Nobody knows where she is except for the kidnapper. So you do have to consider what you're going to do with the home, who's going to be taking care of it, who's going to be monitoring it, watching it. Because I think common sense, Savannah is not going to stay there, I don't guess, to monitor her mother's home. Because she has a whole life in a whole nother city, whole nother state. And it's not to say one's better than the other, but she does have a job. Unless she wants to forfeit the job and move to Arizona and stay with the house, which I don't think she probably would do that. Would you do it? Just ask the same. So it's a normal question to ask. Who's going to monitor the house? Because I'm going to be truthful with you. I don't trust any of these people running around with this weird acting behavior, getting on these podcasters, cameras, and some of you think this shit is cute. It's not cute. This weird ass guy out there talking crazy, hair sticking out of his hat, talking to JLR and all that. That's not cute. Ain't nothing cute about that. Nothing cute about talking to him, asking him questions. He seems like a fanatic. He seems like somebody that's out of control. And this is one thing I keep trying to tell people. Birds of a feather flock together. You got one cuckoo bird talking to another cuckoo bird. I said that, and I meant what I said. I don't trust these people walking around this woman's house and then somebody telling them, no, don't go over there, don't walk over there. Carry your ass on over there. You want to go to jail? Go carry your ass right up to Nancy Guthrie's door. Please do. Please do. Hey, Joanna, carry your ass right up to her door because somebody gonna call 9 and a 1 and 1. And you gonna be in handcuffs and then we'll be talking about you on a podcast. Leave this woman's house alone. What is it that you all don't understand? It is 5 weeks in. She's still missing. Most news reporters have left the building. They have gone back to where they come from whence they came. And you last two Mohegans that want to stand out there, that's on you. Brian Inton, yeah, he's a real reporter. Did you catch that part? Brian Inton is a real reporter. So he want to hang out there and stand, that's on him. But he's a real reporter. But you other ones, you bloggers, TikTokers, give it a rest. Some of you think it's cute, all this hanging around. It's time has gone on. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Joanne. And nobody's forgetting about Nancy Guthrie. How you gonna forget about her when Court TV talks about her every day? News Nation talks about her every day. Articles are written about her every day. Same information, regurgitated, plus all this new shit about utility boxes, what a neighbor has to say, what a neighbor saw. Even that neighbor, stuff she's saying don't make no sense to me. How he looked, how he was dressed. As Maureen said, you gotta ask questions. What color were the shoes? What color was the hat? You know, you gotta jog a person's memory. What race did they look like? I didn't hear that part. Or did she say he was Hispanic? I can't remember. But this is another thing I noticed that nobody caught while everybody was commenting under these podcasts while they was playing this content. Her bathroom is facing the street. How can you take a bath with your shades up facing the street? So that means at nighttime, you gotta make sure the shades are down to take a shower, to walk in the bathroom naked or whatever. I thought that was strange. She's sitting there talking to Brian Inton and showing the bathroom, and I'm sitting here looking like, wait a minute, am I high? This heifer got a whole full bathroom facing the front street. So anybody walking by, driving by, could see you walking by naked and putting your soap on and washing your private parts. Your bathroom should be in the back of the damn house. I said that, Miss Lady. I ain't never seen no full-size bathroom like that with big bay windows facing no street. I ain't never. Huh? Right, Joanna, I said I know I wasn't going crazy. Thank you. When I was sitting there looking, I said, hell, am I smoking dope? Why is this woman's bathroom facing the street? And another thing, the fact that you're not concerned or scared for your safety, that's weird to me when Brian asked her that. Well, how are you feeling? You ain't scared? No. Basically, you're saying you ain't scared because you think somebody close to Nancy did it. You didn't say that. But that's the only way I can see you not being scared. Then you go on to tell us that a woman was insane in your house back in the 80s. And you didn't know anything about it till your mother told you. So y'all got a lot of bad mojo on that street. Pay attention. A serial rapist raped the woman that lives in your house that you stay in right now, and down the street from you, your whole neighbor is missing, but you ain't scared. Oh, okay. It's like you all live in a bubble out there. I've said this so many times during my live stream, and I think I know what I'm saying at this point because I'm a good observer and I'm good at listening sometimes. And I'm noticing the commentary from the people in the neighborhood is bizarre. Joanna, you're a fool. Said too much money, no common sense. Golly, you a fool, girl. But you might be on to something. Because this is what happens when you become, I hate to say it, self-entitled. That you don't think nothing bad can happen to you. You even admitted to Brian Eaton that you all left your doors open. How many times have we heard that since Nancy Guthrie went missing? Too many times to count. Interviewing young girls in the community. Oh, this is a great town. It's a big town. It's a little town. It's 500,000. It's a million. Hell, make up your mind. Which is it? We don't have a lot of crime here. We don't have a lot of crime over there. We don't have crime up in the Catalina, blah, blah, blah. But you got crime in Tucson. Hell, I just watched a documentary last night where somebody had killed some folks up there in Pima County a few years back. So y'all quit acting like y'all ain't got no crazy shit going on over there in Tucson. Yeah, you do. And we got all these people upload videos of strange people walking around outside their house late night in no disguise. A bunch of base heads doing something. So Tucson, you do have something going on with all this stargazing. You all live in a bubble. And I don't know if it's this no lights bullshit that you all are dwelling on, but you need to get it together because there are some people out there who are evil and they're mean-spirited and they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about the night sky. They don't care about the stargazing. They don't care about the, what you call it, astrological program at the university. They probably ain't went to college, ain't went nowhere. They like to be lurking about. They're dope fiends. And I'm going to say this too, pertaining to Nancy Guthrie. Law officials, FBI, sure you're onto this. You need to be looking for people who commit sexual assaults and who have burglary on their records. That's who you need to be looking for. If it's not anybody in the family, if it's not a family member, if it's not a family member who hired somebody, and still it could be the person they hired has committed one of these offenses or both. That's who you need to be looking for, a burglar, somebody who is a known burglar and or a rapist. As Maureen said, a lot of people in Banfield said, a lot of people don't want to talk about that sexual part. You need to talk about it because we don't even know who the hell did it. So you can't glaze over anything because you think you know who took that woman out of her house. You got to use common sense. There was no reason to take her out of her house. If it was a stalker, as many law enforcement people have said, he would want you to know why he took Nancy Guthrie. Hey, I'm Joe Blow. I took Nancy because you ain't been paying attention to me. You won't write me back. You won't read my letters. You won't acknowledge me. That's why I did it. Thank you, sweetie. But you understand what I'm saying? A stalker wants acknowledgement. That's the purpose of stalking, is it not? Even if they start off quiet and don't say nothing, he gon' make it known, she gon' make themselves known. Hey, look at me. I like you. I'm in love with you. So he is going to want to let the world know. And I've been thinking about a lot of things pertaining to this case, especially with listening to all these different people, because, you know, I've been watching the interview room a little bit, and I like Miss Maureen O'Connell, retired FBI. They say don't say former. Retired FBI. I like her a lot. You can tell she's kind of stern, but she's got the pretty blonde hair. You can tell she about her wits. She know what she about business. She got a little queen attitude in her. She said it too. Dope fiend. You're also looking for a dope fiend. Sheriff, FBI. You're looking for a doper, you're looking for a burglar, and you're probably looking for a sexual sadist. 3 in 1. And I won't doubt he has all of those qualities. He's been a peeping Tom. He's a burglar. He's a sadist. He's probably a panty sniffer. Put the underwear on, put them on top of his head. I said that. Trust no one. They're afraid the property values will go down if they admitted the crime, murder, assault, etc. Well, you have all that has to be admitted at some point, sweetheart, into a database. Every state has a database pertaining to crime. You can't fudge it. You know, universities used to try to do that. Remember, you used to hear stories about universities trying to fudge the information pertaining to sexual assaults and brutality on campus. No. And this is what we all need to understand about life. It doesn't matter if it's Beverly Hills, somebody shot up Rihanna's house, young lady, she lost her kids. I gotta do an update on that on a short. The point is, it doesn't matter about it being Tucson. It doesn't matter if it's here in Knoxville. There are sick people. There is always a city that has a crazy case of a serial killer, serial rapist, a woman who's killed her kids, man who beats women, kidnapper. Every state, every city has had a prolific story. There's always a prolific story somewhere, even all the way out in the middle of Idaho, Utah, Mormon country. It doesn't matter because people aren't well. As this bus driver said to me a week ago, he says, I think we're all going to be shocked when we find out who it is. Probably. That somebody said, might have been Maureen or one of the other retired FBI agents, said, you might be looking at a kid. You might be looking at a kid, a teenager. Good point. What if this is a teenager? This is somebody's kid who gets his frolies on peeping and watching people, peeping through windows. And as they've been saying, Banfield mentioned it the other night, I believe, it is time that some of you realize this could be a sexual assault. I'm not trying to dwell on that, but it needs to be talked about. Because there are men who are attracted to older women, just like there are older women attracted to younger men. And there are older men who are attracted to assaulting older women. As I was listening to, I believe that might have been on the interview room. There are people who get a frolic out of hurting people, harming people, and they have a type. Just like child molesters have a type. Okay, a rapist, he has a type. Serial killer, he has a type. Stalker, he has a type. If you notice the serial killers, they usually had types. You only had a few that would kill different type of people, such as BTK. He didn't discriminate. He did women, husbands, wives, children. He didn't give a damn. Just a fucking, let me shut up. That was a sicko wacko. BTK didn't care. As long as you had 2 feet, 2 hands, you were right for the taking. But as you see with Theodore Bundy, long hair, part down the middle, dark hair, because they reminded him of someone who broke his heart, you see. Serial killers, such as Mr. Rex Heuermann, he likes them small and petite. They don't weigh a lot, they're not that tall, so he can dominate them. You're sitting up here almost 7 feet tall, wanting to be with somebody 5'2". So you basically just break her in half, you know, like a little twig. And don't mind the analogies. I'm trying to make a point. These sickos have a type. Just like these men that walk around. Some like blonde hair, some like dark hair, some like redheads. Some like them overweight, some like them thin. Some like them with no breasts, some like them with big breasts. Some like them with thighs, no thighs. Big butt, no butt. Short hair, long hair. Straight hair, curly hair. Everybody has a type. Some don't got a type. That's the one you really have to be scared of. He ain't got no type. But it's supposed to be what's inside. Don't judge a person on their looks. Well, we're all human. But I think people need to come to terms with that. That we really don't know what this is about. Pertaining to Nancy, it could be just anybody. A neighbor, a neighbor's kid, a neighbor's relative, somebody passing through. Could have been a homeless person walking through. Kept walking by her house, never saw nobody. Hell, maybe the house is empty. Because you got to remember, the neighbor said she had been staying in for a while. So maybe somebody got wind of that. Oh, nobody lives there. Nobody's staying there. Then the neighbor tells us that there was an abandoned house next to her. I thought, what the fuck? And the dogs. Were the dogs called when this woman first went missing? Did you let the dogs run up and down the street in back of you? Mr. Nanos, did you call in the canines to go up and down the street for at least 2 miles? Where did the dog stop? When he got out of the police car, where did the dog go? That's what I want to know. I haven't heard anything about the dogs. Is this a recovery? Hell yeah, I believe it is. Don't disrespect the gutters, because I feel bad for these people. I don't want nobody to think I'm being insensitive. But hell yeah, I believe this is a recovery. And where is she? Could be anywhere. You know, we like to say what we think has happened to her, who did it, why, but we really don't know. We can't even say he didn't drive her far. We're gonna assume he didn't take her far. As not to be riding around with a possible dead person in his car. But you're dealing with a wacko, so does it matter? If he drove an hour, he drove 30 minutes. He drove 3 hours. Oh, he took her to Mexico. I don't believe that, but depends on who we're dealing with. There have been people who have driven cross country with dead bodies in their car. Dead children, wrapped up in blankets, tubs. Make it make sense. This is when you know you're fucking crazy. You're crazy to kill a person for no reason, but then you're riding around hour for hour with a dead person in your car. Oh, you have no empathy. None. And the one thing you always have to remember, as I have said, a stranger has no reason to take the body out of the house. And I think most law officials will tell you that. Because a stranger knows in his or her mind, the victim don't know me, the friends and family don't know me. So I don't have to take her or him out of the house. For what? They do their deed inside, and that's it. They leave. And that's really what you should be asking yourselves. What was he doing in her house? How long was he in her house? So all this business about this car going back and forth, somebody looked like they got their hand out the window. It did look like that, but it could have been somebody just waving their arm out. I don't know. It's warm. It's warm out there. You all like to stargaze. So it wouldn't shock if somebody would put their damn arm out the window. Was it her in that car? I don't know. But that's one thing some of you haven't focused on. You're too busy worrying about the 41 minutes or 16 minutes, whichever time you want to believe, 147, 212. You need to ask yourself what the fuck he was doing in that house with her. How long was he in the house with her? So, Mr. Kidnapper, if you're the same person that was playing with TMZ, talk to the queen. I'm good at playing mind games. You would come to the right network, you want to play games, man. Come play with the queen. Come talk to me. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? What did you do to that lady in that house? Was she alive or deceased? Did you sexually assault her? Were you hired? Is this vengeance? You're mad at her, her family members, Savannah? What the fuck is this really about? And how are you sleeping right now? Because at some point I could say, oh, he's probably comfortable. And then another side of me is saying, nah, he's probably scared shitless, wondering who the fuck's gonna turn him in. Because I know you're probably screwing somebody. And I don't care what nobody says. Right now, a person can walk through that door right now, and if I know him, I've been with him, especially sexually, I'll know him in that fucking mask. You know why? The eyes have it, the mouth, and their walk. You don't be with a person day for day, year for year, and not know their scent, how they smell, how they walk, how they talk. So somebody out there is sleeping with this thing, and you know he took that old lady out of there. And you won't turn on them. Why not? $1.2 million got your name on it, and you won't even turn him in. Help me understand. It's a weird world we live in. It's a weird world we live in. This woman is missing. And this thing is walking around laughing, ha ha ha, I got away with it. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing over there. Stupid sheriff, he wants to be head knocker. FBI, they're trying their best. Now they got a task force. Catch me if you can. And then there's a fool that's tied up with this kidnapper. And she ain't telling nobody unless it's homosexual. Did that ever cross any of you all's mind? Could it be a gay guy? Just saying. Could this be a dirty game of the strangers? Let's see if we can get in their house. You know, there's a Strangers Part 3. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, because I really didn't like Part 1 at all. Part 1 scared the shit out of me, and I never watched that movie again. I was living alone at that time. Matter of fact, I was living in a place not too far from where I am now. And I remember that night I was watching that movie, I had to cut it off. And that is very rare for Queen. The only time I cut a movie off is when I'm like tired and I just decide to cut the TV off. That's something I would rarely do. I cut that shit off because it was bothering my spirit. And the next day I had to get up and wash my clothes. So I lived in a building that was kind of like vacant. A lot of apartments were vacant in the building. And I had to walk down this long corridor because I was on the bottom floor. And it was a long, narrow hallway, dark. Dark, I mean, literally pitch black. And I used to say to myself, God, this is a perfect place to get beat up, slashed up, and nobody would know a damn thing. Honey, I had put them clothes in the washer. Let me see. I had finished watching The Strangers. So I went and did my laundry. And I went down that hallway, went in that little room, little dusty old laundry room. And I was standing in front of, I believe it was a washing machine. And I heard some whispering. And I was like, where the hell is that? The hell is that noise coming from? And it was getting closer and closer. And finally, my spirit said, just put your hands on the washing machine and you're going to turn around and you're going to run the fuck out of there. So I was getting my bearings. Honey, Queen turned around and there was a man standing behind me with his phone clutched, and I screamed and he busted out laughing. And I was like, what the fuck is so funny? What the hell are you doing in here? And he said, that look on your face. I said, listen here, you crazy ass person. I just got through watching The Strangers. And you coming in here that phone talking before I could see you. I said, I didn't know what the hell that noise was or where it was coming from. I thought it was in one of them closets in the laundry room. I was scared shitless. As soon as I said about watching strangers, he just fell out laughing. And he's talking to the person on the phone saying, oh my God, I just scared this lady in the laundry room. She just got through watching the strangers. So, you know, I'm sitting here looking at him like he a damn fool. I said, boy, you better announce yourself when you come into a damn room. Don't you know how to say hello, good morning, good afternoon? I don't play with that movie. I'm gonna tell you 2 movies that scare me. The Strangers and Funny Games. And they're both similar because they are both about fucking with people in their house, such as what has happened to Nancy Guthrie. That's why I don't like neither movie. I don't like kidnap movies. I don't even like a theme that's about somebody getting kidnapped. I don't care if it's a child, if it's a grown up. I hate those kind of movies. I don't like movies where you're buried alive, put in a box, put in the ground. I don't like them kind of movies. I'll do mysteries, some horror movies, but anything about kidnapping, anything about somebody, she's in the house and he's, you know, calling and bothering her. But The Strangers, I didn't like because it's too realistic to me. It's too realistic. And hell yeah, that girl, she played that part. Was it Liv Tyler? She played that part. First of all, I'm gonna tell you now, we ain't getting ready to go stay out in the middle of nowhere. We ain't gonna live out in the middle of nowhere. Ain't no Walmart, no gas station nearby. That means it's too damn far out. I'm not getting ready to be running to the door every time we knock. First of all, I'm gonna look out. That's what peepholes are for. We're not opening no doors and looking out. Who's there? Then shut the door. Go back, sit down. And then you're talking to the person as if they care about what the hell you're saying. Why are you playing these games? Why are you knocking on the door? Funny games, young people going to people's houses, pretending their car's broken down and they need to use your phone. That movie really scared the shit out of me because it's very real-like. And what they did to them people at the end of the movie fucked me up. Just like what happened in The Strangers. It was cruel. And there are people who do this type of behavior. You know, pretending they're gonna buy something from you. You're gonna sell a car, sell something, buy a Nintendo, something like that. Then you get to where you're going and poof, they rob you, kill you, dump you somewhere. You know, blind trust. So you let somebody in your house to use the phone, it's the same game. You're thinking they need a phone because the car broke down, and then you're wondering when the tow truck's coming. Oh, there's no tow truck. The tow truck ain't coming. You never let anybody in your house to use the phone, okay? I don't care if you see them walking up and down your street and you sit outside on your porch a lot, and it looks like somebody you think you know of. You don't know them, but you see them walking through the neighborhood. I don't give a damn. Hey, my car broke down. I need to call somebody. Okay, what's the number? I'll call it for you. And if they don't look right, you ain't got to answer. Through your doorbell camera, phone, audio, whatever. Don't say nothing. See, that's what's wrong with a lot of people. You feel like you're obligated to help everybody. You can't help everybody. And sometimes, you may feel bad. Man, I should have helped that old lady. I should have helped that man. I should have gave that person a ride. Well, you don't know people. You have to tell yourself. For instance, hello, the simple question, why are you doing this? Because you were home, chills each time I watch. Say what? Why are you doing this? Because you were home. Oh, the line in the movie. Okay, I got you. That's what I'm trying to say. Those type of movies are more scary because you have to sleep somewhere. So this Nancy Guthrie story is relevant to this conversation about these stupid movies where the people want to play mind games with you in your house. That's not the time and place. Because you have to have somewhere to sleep. And it's, to me, scary when you hear stories that a person was accosted in his or her home. That's scary to me. A child taken out, kidnapped. You know, you think about that because every time you hear these stories, they keep saying, "Oh, this is rare. This is rare. Kidnappers are rare. Kidnappers are rare." Well, there's always that one case every couple of cases where they do the unthinkable and they do something that it's not in the database every day. So Nancy Guthrie's case is that one case where it's not done often. Well, guess what? There'll be some more people probably copycatting this person. Hey, let's go find, you know, this famous person's mom, dad. You know, one day they knew her, they knew where she lived, and some people say, oh, they didn't know that Nancy lived here. Well, which is it? I'm getting seasick. You knew her, you didn't know her. It's like that Luke mom. Something about them ain't right. She tells one version she knew of her and met her with Savannah at the grocery store. Then the next person, oh, I didn't know her. When she did the interview, she said, no, I never met her. But her lawyer says she did bump into them at the grocery store. It's bullshit. Yeah, I don't like nothing about the movies. I mean, the movies about your homes. That shit gets to me. You know, I like a good mystery. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want nothing breaking in while I'm in the house. No. Hell no. So I touched on Mr. Nanos being sued by an inmate for COVID restrictions, protocols he felt like they didn't adhere to. Talk about Nancy Guthrie in the case. Talk to you about 3 Black women years ago who were manipulating elderly people with dementia to fight one another. They've already gotten their time. For some reason, it came up in my news break, which I thought, you know, was a newer case. So I don't know why it came up in my updates. They didn't get any stiff penalties. You know, I think one got, what, 45 days in jail? That ain't shit. There are a lot of sick people out here. But I am wondering, who is this person? And why did he do it? She. You know, I've been looking at the eyes. I've been looking at the body. And I keep saying to myself, is this a man? It's a man with pretty eyebrows and pretty short eyelashes. He has short eyelashes, whoever it is. Most women have a little bit of eyelashes. Usually only men have short eyelashes. And then they're short, dark, makes me think of somebody Hispanic, mixed. Eyes red like he's been drinking, getting high. Probably tooted, you know what I'm saying? Did a little sniff up the nose before going to Nancy's house, got to get himself prepared. You know, people do that. They take drugs, smoke a little heroin, a little meth before they get ready to go do a robbery, carjacking, get geeked up first. I do believe the person was geeked up. And as I said, I do believe that when this person gets arrested, we're going to see that he is a doper. He's a dope fiend. And he's been in trouble with the law. But then the flip side could be he ain't never been in trouble. Don't got a criminal record. What the fuck was he doing in her house? This is scary to me. This is a scary story to me. And we're just regurgitating the same thing over and over. Every night, Court TV has to make up a fucking video over a question or something that we discussed. The utility box, they've already debunked the utility box. Now, under somebody's video, I think it might have been an interview room or one of them, I did say, and he got a car back. But I think I got that from Banfield or somebody. Now they're saying the car is still in custody. So how can the car still be in custody, but they're clear? It doesn't make any sense. Nothing about this case makes any sense. So it's, you know what this case reminds me of? It reminds me of, you know, a clue game that don't stop. It's like, you know, a marathon dance where let's see how long you can dance. Can you dance for an hour? Can you dance for 2 hours? Can you dance for 10 hours? That's what this case is like. You know, a dancing clue game. Oh, my feet are hurting. Oh, my back is hurting. I want to sit down. No, gotta keep dancing. Gotta keep playing. That's what this case is. It's just a never-ending game. It won't stop. Every day somebody's coming out with something stupid. Oh, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? I'm getting bored. It's becoming white noise now. Worrying about soda pop cups and mugs and shit. Come on. It's like I told somebody the other day, could be some agents were drinking soda pop. Somebody went and got a 2-liter and was pouring them in different cups. Somebody put their initial on it. I don't know. It's crazy. Who knows? Has the person returned to her house? That's another question you all should be thinking about. So you should be watching those people going up and down the street. That's what the sheriff should have been doing when the news was there and people were coming and putting down flowers and shit. You should have been watching all those people. You should have had a plainclothesman out, standing by the flowers and watching, listening to the conversation. Like there's one sign out there that says, she ain't been kidnapped or something like that. It's a weird card out there in front of Nancy's house. And I thought, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you know she's not been kidnapped? What are you talking about? Come on, let her come home. She's not been kidnapped or something like that. Let her come home. It's weird wording. Well, where is she then if she ain't been kidnapped? Then they had some white guy or something they said was out there singing, and then that goth guy and girl lay out there. And they're connected to Derek Kalela and possibly Annie and Tommaso. See, you gotta pay attention. Monk's Intrigue, if you're listening, you got good content on your YouTube channel. He's a heavy thinker, and he knows how to dig in the belly of the beast and connect stuff or try to connect it. Doesn't mean that it's any truth to these people, but he's onto something. And I said that earlier. It would surprise me some of these motherfuckers know each other. Luke, the redhead girl, the DJ, Tommaso, Annie, Derek. I got a feeling all you motherfuckers know each other. They know how to put Luke with the one girl. Derek Kalela with the same DJ that knows the girl. So there's a connection right there. That's too close to home. And all you motherfuckers have been to Tucson singing and dancing. I said that under a video when this case first broke. I said that under somebody's video. I said, I won't be surprised if Tommaso's been to Tucson, something like that I said. And somebody gonna tell me, what makes you think that? No, it was something about the band. Because at that time, I didn't know the band members, one of them or so of the Evans guy lived in Tucson. So somebody was like, oh, just because somebody is in a band in LA, why would they, what they say, why would they be coming to Tucson? Well, when you have to think about it, we weren't really getting all the information. Who's going to be in a band in a whole other state anyway? Now we know that one of the bandmates is also a school teacher and lives in Tucson, the one that everybody's been picking on saying has something to do with it. I tell you, people don't think. You can get from one place to the other. We're not talking about Tucson to New York, Tucson to Toledo, Ohio. Come on. Oh, about the black girl, Cleveland, who put 2 of her children in the suitcases, the daughters. They're now going to investigate some of the family members, possibly the last baby daddy. Three kids. The last one was in foster care. The kid they took here recently when they served arrest warrant. Are we going to find out the baby daddy killed her kids? He's beating them up. She watched. She helped. That'll probably be her defense. He did it. He did it. I was scared. Then her kids were doing online studies. For what? Most people want their kids out of the house. Come on. Hell, you want your kids at the house with you for? Hell out of here. Unless you're too lazy to get up and get your kids ready for school. A lot of possibilities. Then she has to learn to have another fucking kid, you know? She's sitting in court with 2 Mickey Mouse poofs looking like a damn fool. Your whole life is over. You got 2 dead girls. You got 1 minor kid. You were keeping that kid. Why? That was your favorite kid? This is how I look at it. If you can kill 1, you can kill 2. If you can kill 2, you can kill that last one. What a mess. Just bringing you a few updates in my head that I was, cases I had, that had some updates. She's going to court. They were now arguing about representation of lawyers. The judge gave her business though. No, ma'am, you cannot represent her. I will appoint her an attorney. She says, I've been working 12 years as a judge and I ain't never seen nobody come into court asking to represent a defendant. The judge, she was on her business. Very interesting information. They were the same ones that represented Bianca Ellis, the black lady that stabbed the white woman in the parking lot and stabbed her little boy. Y'all got some crazy ass folks in Cleveland, y'all ain't well either. Jeez. Cleveland, Detroit. It's always something, ain't it? Always something about them kids. She didn't want to be a mother. That's probably all that was. This last chick, she didn't want to be a mama. She probably got rid of her kids, probably had an abusive boyfriend. Oh, by the way, the boyfriend, he's got domestic charges. So who knows? He probably was beating her up, beating up the kids. But in the end, you didn't call 911. Let's just say hypothetical. He beat up her kids. As I said with the Cal City boys, how you kill 2? Killing 1 kid is one thing. It ain't right, of course. But you can't logically explain to a judge, 12 members of a jury, how you killed 2 kids. Because they're going to say, how did you kill them both? They both were acting bad and you were beating them up and you punched them, slammed them. What? Nobody's going to believe that. Oh, but you got a last kid. What's wrong with him? Oh, he's a good kid. He's well behaved. Scary. That's scary to me. You go dump 2 kids off, 2 separate suitcases, bury them. You know, you got to think about that. Going out there in the dark, putting them out there. How long they've been dead? Spring, summer, winter, what? How many years? Don't know. Got to do an autopsy. And then you got the nerve to have another baby, another little small kid. And you're what? Kissing and doting on this kid, and you done buried 2 kids, killed 2 kids, and put them in a damn suitcase in the dirt. Make it make sense. That's scary to me. People like that are scary. As my property manager was saying to me tonight, this evening, when I was down there talking to him, she said, my grandmother said the most dangerous person is a liar. I've always said that. Beware of the liar. A liar is very dangerous. They can look you dead in your face, tell you a bold-faced lie. Then when they're caught, they gotta tell another lie to cover that lie. So the lies start stacking up. Hell yeah, a liar is dangerous. Because in this case, Where is the family? You haven't wondered where her two daughters are? Was she on social media, IG, Facebook? Nobody's asking where the children. The father said he's been looking for one of his girls for 5 years. Don't know if that's true or not. I got rights. I'm trying to get custody of my daughter. Why? Why were you trying to get custody? What was the mother doing? Then people gonna say, yeah, what was she not doing? Probably not taking care of her property. That's the very reason why she did. Probably starving to death because that slipped out first time the suitcase got opened. Somebody said they look malnourished. Don't know if that's true or not. Could be. Starving them because you're sick of them. And see, let me tell you something about starving a person. Like I said, you can't go into the courthouse saying, I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't mean to kill her. Well, you weren't giving them food. What the hell you thought was going to happen to them? You couldn't be coming to my courtroom talking to me. I've been and got disbarred from as a judge and all that. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't trying to do nothing, Your Honor. They just wouldn't mind. I'm not well, Your Honor. I'm sick. I got a mental problem. You know what I say? Well, I got a surprise for you. You know where they found your two children? God forgive me. Ma'am, do you hear me? Do you know where they found your two children? Yes. Well, that's where they're going to find you. We're going to put you in a suitcase and zip it up and dig a shallow hole and cover you with dirt. Maybe that's what the United States government needs to start doing. Give you what you gave the victim. I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, we're talking about death penalties. And they said, can you imagine being stoned to death? I said, hell no, I can't imagine. I can't imagine being shot. You know, Idaho's got, you can be shot to death, firing squad. You get the needle, that's suffocation. Hell no, I don't want neither one. Hell no. But being stoned to death, like what they did back in the Bible, hanging from many years ago. That's suffocation too. Your airways being cut off, being hung. Electrocution, shocks going through your body. That ain't no fun. Stoned to death, that's a slow death. Hell no. Hell no, I'm gonna be stoned to death. Rock 1, rock 2, rock 3 until you die. Now imagine that. So maybe that's what we need to give these nasty critters who kill children. Give you a nice punishment to make you think about what you did to your child. Every time you starved your child, you abused your child, you punched your child, you allowed your child to be sexually abused, you sexually abused your child. Let me give you something back. It's called compensation. Let's give you back what you gave your kid. And it sounds cruel. Because as I just said, who wants to think about being stoned to death? Maybe it's time that is the punishment for these murderers, rapists, child molesters. We're going to stone you to death. Because she deserves the death penalty, in my opinion. Because I don't really care what that autopsy going to say. I know them children didn't accidentally crawl in no damn suitcase and zip themselves up. She's in Tennessee, she probably get the death penalty. And I would give it to her. Because I got a feeling those kids did not have a quiet death. And the one thing I understand, everybody don't have family, good friends when they start bearing children, but you have to use your head, the one between your ears. This is for you females. You know that you don't have friends and family to help with babysitting, picking your kid up from school, daycare, things like that. You need to think about having children, because I don't care who you are as a female, you're going to need someone to help you with your child. That is just the bottom line. You're not going to be able to continuously live without some type of help, a babysitter, because at some point you have to grocery shop, you have to go to the doctor, you have to take care of business, preferably can't take your child with you. You need a babysitter. So I don't care if you're poor, if you're working class, if you're wealthy, everybody needs help with their children. All of us have stayed with somebody as a child growing up. We stayed at somebody's house while mommy went out and took care of business, took care of whatever. So you know you don't have anybody, you don't have anybody to depend on, you need to keep your legs closed. Let me make this public announcement. Stop having sex. Use a condom. Put a damn condom on and take birth control. Because this repetitive having kids, and you're whining and crying about your life and what you don't have, and you can't do nothing, you can't go nowhere. Of course you can't do nothing because you got children. Whether you work, don't work, it don't matter. You're a human. You're gonna wanna go somewhere, you're gonna wanna do something. You're gonna want time to yourself. But that's still your kid. And that's how people gonna look at it. Some people gonna say, well, that's your baby, you brought him here. Because it is a full-time job. And you cannot just keep pushing the babies out like Skittles and expect these little Skittles to, some of you aren't ready for rearing. And like I said, fatherhood, same thing. You're not gonna know it until you get in that position. Where I have the problem is people who refuse to accept they're not ready, don't want the kids, and they're just using the children for whatever reason. Manipulation, get money, funds, food stamps, attention. Some women do that, I think, just have babies to get attention. Oh, you look so cute. Oh, look at your belly. And then once the baby's out, I heard people say that. Once the baby was out, I heard the women say it. Once my baby came, I wasn't enthused anymore. She liked the fact of being pregnant. So there's women who like just, she had like 6 or 7 kids, and she don't got none of her kids, and she's on drugs. And she just recently got arrested for stabbing her boyfriend. I like being pregnant. Yeah, but she don't like keeping them when they get here. Pretty girl, pretty black girl. And I told her months ago, you need to get yourself together. You're too pretty to be out here. You're too pretty to be cussing and fussing like you be doing, showing out, your potty mouth, you talk crazy. That's unladylike. You don't need to be out here talking like that. You gotta care about yourself. Because people are not gonna treat you, you don't need to be living like that, sweetie. I'm trying to tell you, this is not the life you want. And then next thing you know, my ex-neighbor tells me a few weeks ago, oh, she been arrested. She stabbed a boyfriend, stabbed him in the arm or stabbed him something. Crazy as hell. Why? She don't want anything. Because she's accustomed to chaos. And we have a lot of people like that. They thrive off of misery. They thrive off of chaos. If they ain't in some type of turmoil, argument, fighting with folks, they only got a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Shut your mouth. You know some people like that? Hell, you might be like that. You sit here watching Queen saying, damn, Queen called me out. That's no way to live. I can see it with the elderly people. You know, I live around elderly people. It's the second place I'm living that's got more elderly people. Oh my God. Arguing and cussing outside. White woman, old white woman calling another white woman. What'd she say to her? She said, who's that bitch that tell me the old folks can't get crunk? Hell yeah, they can. Life is too short. And that's why I'm sitting here looking at these older white women arguing with each other about he said, she said, over some nonsense. I got the 411. It was about a damn dog. Anyway, what I was told was a lie. But then I think about Nancy Gunther. Here's this older lady. She had a whole house. Don't really know what she did in her free time, spare time. But more than likely, she not here. So she can't enjoy a dog, a cat, a frog, a goldfish. She can't hear her children, voices. She can't go to church. She can't fraternize with her friends. She can't watch TV no more. She can't do none of that. All because some creepy crawly felt fit to go up in her home and violate her, take her out of there. And what I keep trying to tell you, if not Nancy, it could be somebody else. Because we really don't know what the motive is. And until we know what the motive is, we can't really say, oh, wouldn't happen to me. You don't know what can happen to you. You go stand at that cemetery and see if you can knock on some of them tombstones and see what they tell you about how they got there. If they could talk, you probably wouldn't like the stories they had to tell you, how they got to be deceased. And I think about that a lot, the stats, you know? Why is she dead? Why is he dead? What led this person to go in their house, shoot them, kill them, shoot them in the driveway? Every day I go on this news break. Please follow me on the news break app. Every day my phone pings. All my phones, everything, my devices, simultaneous. Ping, 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 ping. It's notifications. Notifications from you all, notifications from YouTube, notifications from Newsbreak, notifications when you all reply on Newsbreak. And it's just like YouTube. Everything is negative, negative, negative. Let me tell you what such and such did. Let me tell you what such and such did. Let me tell you what happened over here in Toledo, Ohio, and what somebody did to this elderly person, what somebody did to their kid. And they just found this person who's been missing 20 years. And then they found this person missing 20 years and they're alive, which that's a blessing, but damn. Imagine the people worried, oh, where's my friend? She's been missing. Ain't nobody seen her. She's walking around, ain't nothing wrong with her. I'm gonna put that on a poll. Because you remember that story I did the other day about the lady who's been missing for 24 years and away from his or her current lifestyle. Is it wrong for them not to tell somebody that they're walking away and don't want to be bothered? Why? But see, some of you will say, well, Queen, that's stupid, petty. Why would she leave her life because she had a DUI? All she had to do was pay the fines, whatever, be done with it. Well, everything's about mindset, right? Let me spin you a short story about a young lady. This was on the East Coast many years ago. It was a young white girl got in trouble for shoplifting. So I believe her might have been coming up soon, not really sure. But she decided that she couldn't face the town and the ridicule and the judgment. She took off. And she went missing, and people thought she was missing. And many moons later, she was found in Florida, working a regular old life, nothing fancy. I think she was a waitress or something. And when she was found, that was the question. Why did you leave? Why did you run away? And she says, I just couldn't face what I had done. People judging me for shoplifting, stealing. You think about that. A young person running away from their life, the only life that they know because they're worried about what people are going to say. Now, if she was under 18, she could have got the record. The record should have been sealed, if I ain't mistaken. But the point is her leaving her life and running away. If that's her real reason. She's worried about what the small town people gonna think of her, judge her. And maybe she came from a family where, the people didn't get in trouble, they didn't break the law. Maybe they had a decent life, middle class life, I don't know. But I think that was pretty serious to leave your life behind and go into the unknown, especially Florida. That's a dangerous place. That's where most rapists and pedophiles come from, is down in Florida. You want to go down there to no man's land, don't know anybody, all because you stole something out of a store? Seems crazy. But see, that's the whole point. If this person knew they were never going to try to leave a small town, never try to go nowhere else in life. They knew they were going to stay in this town, and they didn't want nobody knowing them as a thief. I can understand. In small towns, people are very judgmental. And nobody wants to be known as a thief, you understand? But to just disappear and nobody knows what happened to you, that's scary for your family, because despite your theft charge, there are still people who love you and care about you, and they're wondering where you are. that people can do really crazy things to disappear. So we have one young girl running away because she stole something from a store. Then we have this lady over here, North Carolina. She left Virginia for domesticated reasons, and now we learn she has an ODUI charge. So think about her thinking, I've gotten away, I'm living my best life, peaceful life over North Carolina, and then poof, one day here comes somebody in her business. Somebody went back and told, hey, you looking for that lady? She over here. And she didn't even go that far, which I found interesting. Why didn't she run away somewhere farther up the coast, North Carolina? And now, she's probably out of jail now. That's about a week or two ago. She got arrested for the DUI charge. But it's just something to think about. People running away from their problems. So I'm gonna put that on a poll, and you give me your answer if you think it's right for a person to just up and disappear and don't tell their kids, don't tell their husband, their wife, hey, I'm not happy, I'm leaving. Even if it was a dangerous situation and you just went and called somebody to say, hey, I had to get out of there and I ain't coming back. I ain't coming back. I'm done. I'm done with everybody, mama, daddy, sister, son, daughter. That's a hell of a thing to do. Because you're talking about a woman who was married and had children. We're not talking about a single woman. Shit wasn't going right with her man and she just disappeared. She had children. Some people might think that's unforgivable. A woman deserting her kids, everybody's entitled to his or her opinion. But some people might say, oh, I can't forgive her for that. She left her kids. She should have told her children, mommy's going away. I love you. I'll always love you, but I can't stay here. And to my knowledge, the daughter has not said that mommy told her that. And she wants a relationship with her mother, but she's angry though, she's angry, as she should be. And see, that's the thing about being a kid. You can't understand grown folks' business. Why grown people do what they do. The decisions they make. And a lot of times, we as grown-ups, we make decisions according to emotions. You think what you're doing is right at that time, but maybe down the road you realize, I shouldn't have done that. I should have maybe taken another route. But that's the whole point. You're not gonna know until you make that decision. 1 hour and 39 minutes. And through God, if you believe in God, He is a forgiver and He's a redeemer. And you can be redeemed. And God has forgiven even the worst of man and woman, even though most of us will not. God has forgiven the rapist, the child molester, the serial killer, the adulterer, the liar, the thief, the defrauder, all of those crimes, iniquities He has forgiven. But we are human, so we don't easily forgive. So when people say, he who has had no sin cast the first stone, you got to remember we are human beings. So that's why it's easy to judge. We're not aliens. We're not robots, we're human beings. Even a sinner don't judge another sinner. Come on now. You've done some wrong, but you still think it's wrong to hurt children. And you're gonna compare your sin and say, well, I ain't beating up kids, I ain't molesting children. I ain't sexual assaulting old ladies. That's what we do, we're human. But that's the latest. I do have another update, and then I'm gonna check out of here. You remember the story I brought you about Sharon Moore, who's coaching at the University of Michigan? Well, that little young lady he was messing with, that white girl, she has decided now to say she wants the campus, the school, to be accountable for what happened between she and Sharon. Let me check this heifer before I check out of here. I might know another lie about her tomorrow. Who the hell you trying to check? You lied and tried to make people believe that black man had been stalking you. I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe that? Because I'm a good listener, Cookie. And I knew when you first gave your version of what happened that week, something didn't sound right. You said he stalked you for about a month. So if he had been stalking you for a month, why didn't you go to the school a month before? To say, oh, the coach is stalking me. No, because something happened between you and the coach. The university investigated in the past. They both denied anything. Well, somebody, I don't know what they denied, Julie, but the school that went and talked to people. You can best believe they talked to other people. You have been sleeping with this man. I do not believe he's been stalking you. And I told some people in these videos, they're gonna fire her. People trying to talk shit to Queen. Queen 55, I'm not no dummy. If I don't know anything, I know people. And the school is not gonna keep nobody that is a liability. And they knew at some point, whatever version she took to them or whoever went and dropped the tea, that something had been going on with them too. Now, law officials, they didn't know everything. The judge didn't know everything. That's why Sharon got the felony charge dropped for home invasion, because his lawyer knows the law. And the lawyer told the judge, you don't know everything. That judge just went off of what she told to get him arrested. You didn't know that these folks had been dating in court. And then he didn't hurt her, he didn't put his hands on her. He just, I guess, busted up at her house, threatening himself. So that's really all he did was trespassing and whatever he sent her through a text message. So those are his two charges, misdemeanors. Trespassing and telecom device. Not so nice things said through the phone. They've been screwing. Students were talking about it. What did I tell you all before in the video about liking people? That people can look at you and tell you like Joe Blow. Because it's how you carry yourself. You're doing stuff like this. He's doing the same. Standing up under each other, won't move. You think people couldn't see that they liked each other or something was going on? So students had said, yes, we used to see his car at her house. So make Queen understand how he's stalking you with his car parked at your house, meaning he's inside of your house. So you mean to tell me you let your stalker come in your house? Come on with it, Queen. It's exactly, Julia. I believe something happened between the two. And it could be the age-old notion, she got tired of being the other woman. She wanted more for herself. She's not a young girl anymore. She's in her 30s, meaning I want a husband, I want a life, I want a house, I want a home, I want a yard, I want 2 garages. For all you know, she was hearing him flirting with other women, seeing it, hearing stories. He was messaging girls on IG, OnlyFans, models. If you know what OnlyFans is, it's not a great site. It's a site for adults. So what you're doing over there, soliciting women for sex in exchange for football tickets, and I didn't really go deep into that when I was talking about him months ago, so I need to go ahead and free myself before I check out of here. That's a sign right there that he's sick. He's a head knocker. He wants to be important. You were violating school policy by offering the girls the school tickets to the game. Hey, I got some tickets for you if you want to do a threesome. You know, this all went through my head the other day, this week. I said, Queen, you didn't really discuss that on the channel, so I'm going to discuss it now. This motherfucker is sick. And you were dating him, Miss Lady. You had him at your house. He was coming to your house when he should have been with his family, going over football plays, having a drink with some fellas or playing golf at night or whatever. He's over there fucking you. And you got the nerve to sit here now and say the school needs to be accountable, that there's some systematic bullshit going on. No, you the fucking problem, and so is Sharon. Sharon's got a flavor for white women. And you know, and a lot of black people have had a lot to say about that. Like, that's why he in this mess. And I'm not here to say that if it was a black woman, he still wouldn't be in this mess. Of course, he could still be, depending on who the fuck told. I got a feeling she told. That's the reason why he ran to her apartment saying, if anything happens to me, the blood is going to be on your hands. That leads me to believe she is the tattleteller. She's the one that told. Now, I'm going to ask you, Big Ange, Queen, why did you go to the school and tell them this man was stalking you? Because they said in the articles, we have proof. Because you showed them what? Some text messages of him, pick up, why won't you pick up? But see, this is where there's a problem. I got a feeling those calls only came from that Monday, because he was sitting in front of the hot seat on Wednesday. So did you have text messages going past that Monday, like 1 month before, to bring forward this claim of stalking? Either way, I think you cut him off. So whether you cut him off on that Monday, or you cut him off the week before, 1 month before, you two were entangled. That's the point. And you didn't go to the head knockers to be honest that you had been fucking this man for at least 2 years or so. Something went on between you two, and then you went to the school when you decided to ignore him by phone call, text. And now both of you motherfuckers are out of jobs. And I don't know what made you think you were going to keep your job and you screwing your boss. So you are just as guilty as Sharon because you knew better. You knew you didn't have no business having sex with that man because 1, he's your boss. 2, he's married. You knew better, lady. So I'm not going to sit here and put it all off on Sharon. He is a man. And he's a man who doesn't have any morals. And some are going to say she didn't have none either. And I get it. People work side by side. They're seeing each other a lot. They fall for one another. But you had to have known nothing was going to come from this. And now you've had to heard the stories of him messaging other women. So that would tell me he probably was messing with other women and messaging them when he was tangled up with you. Now, let's really go deep in the belly of the beast. I won't doubt that Sharon was probably flirting with them damn white girls at the school. Probably flirting with the students, the cheerleaders, staff members. And I bet you that school has a clause just like most universities. We do not want staff intermingling. We don't want staff mingling with the children mingling with the staff. We don't want, like the old saying, you don't shit where you eat. And most people have not learned that. You don't date people where you sleep. You don't date people where you play. You don't date where you work. Because you gotta have a job, you gotta have somewhere to sleep, and you wanna go out and have fun. You've heard the stories. People that hang in the bars, they've slept with each other, messed around with each other, bartenders, patrons, and then when some shit jump off, where do you think it goes down? At the bar. Same thing with the job. Somebody's not speaking to somebody, somebody's ignoring somebody, somebody's flirting with somebody else, somebody's now picking up some new kitty cat, ding dong. Now it's a problem. Now we're fighting and arguing at the job. Now, where you live, in a condo association, apartment complex, it's getting out, you dating somebody else, new person, ain't speaking. Now we're banging on doors, hollering and screaming, trying to break out windows. This is why you don't mix neither. Because you ought to want peace of mind. You want to have peace at home. You want to have peace at your job. And you want to have peace when you go out and play. I get it. We all are human. Once again, as I say, we're human, we're flawed, we make mistakes. But when you start mixing them avenues, this is when you have problems. So this young lady needs to grow up and accept the fact that you had sex with this married man who was also your employer. You all worked together until he got this head coaching job. You got put in a better position. He also upped your salary. So you can see this was a stair-step situation between you two. So I'm not no dodo bird sitting here thinking this man's been stalking you. And I think you know that many people don't believe that. If anything, he was wondering why you quit talking to him. So whether it was all of 2 days or 2 weeks, it could have been a month. Most people aren't going to believe you. But this is not going to. They're going to think you the little girl that cried wolf when shit wasn't going your way with Sharon. You went and cried to the school to make it look like he was stalking you and sending you nasty messages or just texting you and blowing up your cell phone. And they're not knowing everything that's going on. And I won't doubt that they could have heard there was hanky-panky. Because if the students and the football players knew, other people knew, and they passed that information around. And I won't doubt that they have said something to Sharon and you. You're never going to tell us that you were warned by the higher-ups. If there's something going on, chalk it. Now, where is she getting ready to go get a job? Sharon, where is he getting ready to go get a coaching job? Because most schools would be leery to hire him because they're going to think he doesn't have self-control. He's a married man who likes intermingling with the staff. And what they have to think about themselves, think about the school, the community. Our obligation are the children. We cannot have a loose cannon running around putting their hands up skirts. Because it's going to message women and see where he can put his bid in. People like that are very dangerous. And I bet you Sharon wasn't even using a condom. He was sleeping with that woman without a condom, sleeping with his wife without a condom, and anybody he picked up, he probably was not using a condom. And then he's sitting all up in the jail looking stupid and sitting all up in court in his shiny suit. You know, yeah, you got lucky this time, bro. You don't have a felony, face a felony, but you still have a ruined reputation. Now, is he going to come back from this? Of course he will. So long as he don't decide to unalive himself, jump off a bridge, he going to be just fine. A little time will go by, somebody will take a chance on Sharon, and he'll be back in the game. But will the wife stay? I said she needs to leave him because I wouldn't trust a man who would ruin our relationship to sleep with his coworker. And then he's messaging other women that are from porn sites. Hell no. Wanting a threesome in exchange for football tickets? That's how we rocking. My chopped liver, and she's a blonde head too, the wife. So you got tired of the wife. You wanted another pretty blonde. So you went to another pretty blonde to now some other pretty women that's on these old porn site, OnlyFans bullshit. That shows me he's oversexed. And he's probably one of those men that can't get enough PUSSY, excuse my language. He wanted on the table, on the counter, on top of the roof, wherever. The hood of the car, he got to have it. And I bet you they were probably having sex at the schoolhouse, in his office. Hello. So now I gotta ask this question. When you all were going out of town and she was going, which I'm trying to understand, would there be a need for her to go? Were you all having sex in your hotel room, coach, ex-coach? I'm curious. And I'm wondering if the wife knew Wifey, did you know that he was having an affair with his assistant? Did you know about him messaging other women as well or having affairs with other women? Probably. But she stayed for love and or both. My kids need a daddy. I wouldn't give a damn about daddy. I would get my coins and gather up my check. Best you find a decent man who would be willing to take care of you and your damn children. Black or white. As for Sherrod, you need to see a counselor and you need to talk to Jesus. Because I do believe you have a penis problem. And you're never going to be happy with anybody. Because until you get that thing down there between your legs settled and this up here, you're going to be right back where you came from in some bullshit. As for a lawsuit with this other chick, she need to go on somewhere and sit down. If you're trying to sue the school. Because that really makes you look bad. Because nobody's going to believe he just up and one day started stalking his assistant. Nobody's probably going to believe that. Because there's going to be too many people that will come forward and say, oh yeah, we've been knowing that something was going on. We used to see his car over at our house. Well, how many times did you see his car there late night? Oh, 2-3 times a week, blah, blah, blah. You getting an up in your salary, a boost in your salary. God forbid the conversations you said to other women about him, what was going on, your friends, your family. They turn on you have to testify, decide to testify. And if they take a deep dive in their phone, oh, Lord have mercy. Last time you two conversated, if it's less than a month, then that means you lied. That's the latest, everybody. Oh, and Ray J. I ain't gonna never get off this live. He got a video where he's talking about he been out the closet. That's on my dead homies, blah, blah, blah. I've been out the closet. I've been out the motherfucking closet, blah, 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 blah. You sound like a damn fool. Don't nobody care nothing about you having no gay friends and wanting to be a part of gay organizations and helping gay people with businesses. That is your business. But you talking about you been out the closet, F been out the closet. Who are you speaking to? Because people calling you gay. So you now just want to say you are gay, you been out the closet, it ain't no big deal. Well, if it ain't no big deal, then you should have told it a long time ago. Hey, I like men's, I like cross-dressing, I'm transgender, whatever. See, you were geek and high. I could tell in that live, you were high. So see, there's this old saying, black folks saying about being drunk. You speak sober thoughts. It's the same thing for being high. You're inebriated. You're under influence. That's when your truth comes out. I've learned this a lot with women and men. People decide to explore the sexuality when they become under the influence, and possibly they do like the same sex. They just ain't told nobody. So then they get on that monkey sauce and that heroin and that meth, then they are uninhibited. Now they don't mind touching a man crotch and buttocks and so on and so forth. The girl kiss another girl, woman, you get my drift. So is that what you're trying to tell us? You knew you was out the closet, but we didn't know. Let me tell you something, homeboy. I don't care where you do, what you like. You like men, that's your business. What I would like for you to do is go back in the damn closet, because I'm sick of your mouth, and I'm sick of every time we look up, it's something about you in the hospital, you're dying, it's this and that. It's always something crazy with you. Beating up the baby mama, threatening the woman on a live stream with a GUN. It's always some drama with you. Every fucking month, it's something about you on a live stream. You just cannot shut up. Who the fuck comes? I'm tired of hearing about Ray and Jay. I've been out the closet. That's all my dead homies. You act like that's some gangster shit. Who dead folks you talking about? Some dead gay men? Come on with it, Queen. Because I don't think them dead homies that's allegedly straight would be caring about you putting their name in connotation with them. This is why you need to quit going live, quit drinking, quit getting high, quit beating up on folks, quit threatening folks. Go get you some help, get you a counselor, stop talking, quit trying to aid people who are in the wrong doing, such as your friend Puffy. Go straighten your own fucking life out. Take all your little problems, listen to me good, little boy. Take all your little problems and push them back in the closet. Push them back in the closet. Take all your problems and take them back in the closet. Stay in the closet. Because you act a donkey ass when you come out of the closet. And I'm tired of every time I turn around, there's a notification about something Ray J done said or done. Stay your black ass in the closet. Thank you. That's my commentary, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Check the polls on my community page. Pray for Nancy Guthrie for truth and justice for this lady. Follow me on the news breakout. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Beganji129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome to the live stream. This was a multifaceted live where I talked about different commentary, but the start of this live was pertaining to an inmate suing Sheriff Nanos for $1.35 million. He says he came in contact, could have been endangered by the COVID virus while incarcerated. He had a theft charge from a couple of years ago. I don't know if this is why he is still incarcerated. No, because usually you don't stay in jail a long time unless you're going to trial. You will stay in that jail, where you committed the offense. So I don't know what this joker is still in jail for, but I can tell him personally, Queen says you ain't about to get no damn money. You ain't dead. It ain't your kin people suing because you did. You didn't catch COVID and got liver failure, heart failure, kidney failure. You alive. And that's that. Before I check out of here, I watched this crazy ass news piece about a white guy burned up in a damn jail. Fire broke out, his cell, outlet or something caught on fire, and he died in there and nobody could get to him in time with the fire extinguisher, the key. Very weird. But then when they go back in history, like way back, going back to 1800s, this certain jail has always had electrical issues, fire issues, and then you fast forward many moons later, this young man dies in a fire, and what's crazy is they try to pin it on him and say he was cooking meth in his cell, but the fire investigators said it was electrical. No drugs were found. Now, see, that's a shame for SHIT. You're trying to blame an inmate for setting his own cell on fire. And I can't remember if they tried to say he had done it before, but the point is, this was electrical, screaming and hollering for their life. And naturally, the other men on the block who are inhaling the smoke and can't get out of their cells. Because people do die of smoke inhalation. I shared that to my community page. Feel free to check it out if you want to watch the video. It's a very interesting story, and this is what I came to the conclusion. Perhaps this jail needs to be shut down. I think it's in Indiana. I think you need to shut it down. It's old, it's decrepit, and maybe you need to shut it down and send these inmates to other facilities. Let the earth reclaim itself through green grass and trees and tear that old ass prison down. Because if you've had years for damn near 100, 200 some years, what is the point in keeping it up if you're not going to spend the money on electrical, plumbing? Doesn't make any sense, because we work in the jails and the prison system, and they're not incarcerated. So their lives are in jeopardy as well by going there to work and other type of resources and classes. They're just in harm's way because you cannot explain a person burning alive in their cell. And this is going on for about 20 minutes. By then, he was charred. And these inmates have spoken to the news and given their testimonies, which I'm stunned. And they have given their account of what happened in that prison on that day and the chaos that ensued. And even some of the inmates were actually trained as firemen. Put that on paper. And they had no access to the fire extinguisher, hard hat, the coats, or anything to put out the fires. They were in different cell blocks. So what's the damn point? And they also fudged documents as far as fire protocols and doing drills and things. They lied on the documents, saying they had done them, and I guess had the inmates do the protocols and the dry runs. Never happened. So this prison, in my opinion, needs to be shut down. And that's what these, the young lady, the sister who speaks to the news, you all need to get a lawyer and sue their asses and call your state governors, senators, and tell them what's going on at this prison, and it needs to be shut down. That's the only way you can get change is if you speak up. Because all lives matter. How about that? Nobody deserves to die like that. Trapped in a cell. He didn't even get a chance to change his life, to get out to see if he could do better, because that is the conversation he had with his sister. He wanted to better his life. She said he wanted to have a family. Well, he was denied that chance because he burned alive in his own cell due to faulty electrical wiring. That's my commentary. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful it out. I was supposed to go last week, but I'll probably go this weekend. They'll give me something to do. Let's check it out, everybody. Scream 7 playing at a theater near you. This is for my Scream fans, my horror fans. I've been reading some of the critiques under the Scream 7 video, and some people said it is the best that they have seen. It's better than all the Screams. It's better than the last one. We will see. I watched the last one a week ago, honey. I fell asleep on it. Hell, I was trying to remember who the hell the damn killer was. I believe it was a female. I can't remember. Because I stay up so late, and honey, I fall asleep on every damn thing I watch. All I watch is true crime, YouTube, and podcasts. And I told myself, honey, you got cable. Will you please turn this cable back? Watch some new stuff, because there are some TV shows that's on now that I do want to check. Even some comedies, and I don't really watch comedies, but there's some new things, new comedy TV shows that's going to be on this season, this spring, and I really would like to imbibe and check them out. But thank you for listening to the Queen. I hope you learned something new, and thank you for those who came in the chat to give me their opinions. I really do appreciate all of you and the love you've shown the Queen. And it was just a few months ago, I had a birthday. Can you believe that? Just 2 months ago? Almost 2 months. January 29th. And now here, look, it is March. Almost the middle of March. Wow. Where does the time go? Well, as you see, it's getting dark, and I am looking out at my window. I have such a lovely view outside this window. I can see a lot of motion going on out there. And I didn't go outside much to get any fresh air. I should have, but I was just in here doing a lot of stuff on the internet, looking for furniture and stuff. Still haven't found anything, and I'm frustrated. But I'm going to pray about it and let God's will work. Love you guys. Thank you so much. You have a excel. Bye-bye.